Forgiveness. It's a word we hear all the time, right? And it's supposed to be this amazing path to peace. But let's be honest, for most of us, it just feels complicated. It's messy, and sometimes it feels totally impossible. So let's get into it because the source material for this explainer offers a really powerful and maybe different way to think about the whole thing.
And it really all boils down to this one question, doesn't it? We're told we have to forgive, but there's that voice in the back of our head screaming, wait, if I forget what happened, I'm just going to get hurt again. And that's the core conflict we're going to take apart today.
You see, that conflict pushes us straight into something you could call the forgiveness trap. It's that awful place where your desire to move on is in a head-to-head battle with your instinct to protect yourself. And you know this feeling, right? It's this constant tug-of-war happening inside your own mind. On one side, you've got all this pressure, society, friends, maybe even yourself, saying you should just let it go or it's the right thing to do. But on the other side is this very real, very logical fear that if you drop your guard, you're just signing up for more pain. And that's exactly why it feels like a trap, because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you hold on, the anger eats you up. If you let go, you feel exposed and vulnerable. It really feels like there's no way to win.
But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if there's a third option we haven't even considered? This next part offers a pretty radical reframe, and it starts by asking one simple but game-changing question. Who is forgiveness really for?
To find that third option, we have to challenge a really fundamental assumption, something we've probably believed our whole lives about what it actually means to forgive. So, get ready for this. Okay, so the source material puts it this way. When you go through the motions, when you decide to forgive someone who really hurt you, you're not actually forgiving them. I know, that sounds completely backwards. But just hang with me, because the second part of this idea is what changes everything. Here it is. In reality, you're forgiving you. Let that one sink in. Forgiveness is not about letting the other person off the hook. It's about letting yourself off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of the anger, the resentment, the hurt that you've been carrying around. It's an act of self-care. Okay, so if forgiveness is for us, how in the world do we do it safely? How do we protect ourselves? Well, that brings us to the actual practical formula that the source lays out. It's called forgiveness plus wisdom. So let's define wise forgiveness. Think of it as a two-part process. Part one is you releasing your own internal burden, all that anger and hurt. Part two is you, at the same time, using your wisdom and experience to make sure you don't get harmed that way again. They're not opposites, they're partners. So how does this work in the real world? It breaks down into two pretty clear steps. Step one, forgive. That's the internal job. You decide for your own sake to let go of the anger. Step two, apply wisdom. This is the external job. You make the practical, smart decision to stay away from that person and their negativity. I think this metaphor just nails it. Forgiving is like taking the antidote. You're releasing the poison that's been hurting you. Applying wisdom is making sure you don't let the snake back into your house to bite you again. You can absolutely do both. And the outcome of all this, it's honestly a total game changer. You finally get free from your own anger. You completely sidestep that old trap of getting used or hurt over and over. And maybe most importantly, you protect your own peace. You get all the benefits of forgiveness with none of the risk.
So let's bring this all home. This whole idea isn't just a nice theory. It's a real, practical path to peace that puts all the power right back where it belongs, in your hands.
And this quote says it all. You can forgive, and that "and" is everything. You can also still stay away from their life. One action doesn't cancel out the other. They work together. So look, if you only take one thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to the person who hurt you. It is a tool that you use to get your own freedom. This is about you. It's about your healing, and it's about your future. And that just leaves us with one last question to think about. When you see it this way, as an act of setting yourself free, who do you need to forgive? Not for them, but for you.